I forgot what music. So good morning to some of you. Good afternoon to the rest of you. All right, a great pleasure to be here today. Yes, I have this thing too. 1 second. All right, Jay. So that is. Hello, Kelly. Dominica. Hello. What's going on, Marco? 1 second. Let me see. Still getting this thing together. New configuration can be odd, but relax, go with the flow, allow for the changes to take place, and be open. Be open to everything. Be open to everything. Say yes to life. You heard me. Let's see, it's the 22nd. Okay. Easy peasy. Easy. Hello. What's going on, Steve? Pleasure. Let me go ahead and I'll give us a little teeny bit of time while people still filter in here. I do have a couple of things to do. However, I did want to note that our session wouldn't be as extensive as it usually is. So beautiful downloads of information, very potent, insightful energy for us to delve into today. And we're definitely going to enjoy that. As always, when we first get in here, we always do some breathing, some stretching, getting ourselves comfortable and within our own spaces is truly important for us to be receptive to all the nation that is expressed for us to expand upon. That's that which we're realizing more and more as we move into these paths of expansion. Truly healing and beautiful energy indeed. Breathe, stretch. You're welcome to get yourself a tea, something to calm the spirit. I express all the time that the internal warmth is liquid life. It's giving vitality to all your organs, and you have an opportunity to allow for nature's little treats, some of the aspects of the elements to heal the internal world. Let's see. I'm going to give us about an hour. We'll go ahead and get our session started today. Welcome for all of you. Truly an honor, humbled continuously that you're still here and we're still building. So get yourselves together, get comfortable. Back in a second. A little closer. So a little teeny bit closer. Here we go. Let's picturesque. All right, so we're gonna play with this aesthetic a little bit. I'm actually gonna start painting next week, so I'm extremely excited about that. I'll get to hang up some things and free some room up on the floor, cleaning carpets. Come on, anytime you're doing a place, floor and walls are always first. Floor and walls, so it's your foundation. And as we heal, come on, we're dealing with the floor of our experience, our own being to cultivate, to work with, to expand upon and relearn. Clean, no matter what you put in the crib, floor is dirty, floor is dirty. The floor is dirty, the floor is dirty. Foundation, grounding. That's why we talk about grounding all the time, over and over again, because it's the foundation of all the beauty, all the self-realization that we do. We decorate energetically when we realize things within ourselves and expand our awareness. But the floor got to be clean, baby. The floor got to be right. You heard me. All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Dula. Hold on back. No doubt, no doubt. What time is that? All right, let's give ourselves another 2 minutes. Remember, it's not about the numbers. This is for a specific group of people that resonate with this energy via this platform. And when you recognize that, you're more engaged, and I mean, once again, from all perspectives, you'll be engaged with the information, which will help you on your journey and allow for more vibrancy, a depth of healing to take place because of the energy investment. All right, as we approach 10 on the hour, I'm gonna actually do a little teeny bit of stretching, a little deeper, breathing a little more deliberately. The breath that you're taking in, allowing for yourselves to settle into a beautiful space of calm. Hopefully, everybody hears me efficiently. It's not too much of a task to understand what I'm talking about. I'm doing projection, but of course, I'm on my laptop and I'm used to the sound and technical capabilities of my phone. So Setting has changed, acoustics have changed. There's a lot that has changed, and yeah, of course, I need a little bit of gauge from your end about the nature of. Is everybody hearing me okay? Should I speak louder? All right, so could do some. Let me get this on the charger before we start. Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Dula. Jenna, hello, hello. All right, beloved brothers and sisters, kings and queens, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Welcome once again to another Sunday Stillness. We got some glitching, huh? Yeah, it's probably my connection. Still in the process of making that happen. Perfect, perfect. All right, all right. Y'all know how we do and who we are of the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light, and who I am humbly, always as your brother, Commander Ashtar. It's truly an honor to be able to connect with you via this platform. Know that this platform, in its essence, is an aid, something that we've agreed with prior to our consciousness through our journey in this now moment. The communication only represents 20% of the guidance, warmth, support that we are receiving as manifestations of infinite intelligence. Our openness to this connection allows for even more efficiency, for even more synchronicity, a deeper harnessing of our own individual sensitivity. Once again, sensitivity is our connection, our receptivity to information from life. Infinite intelligence is always communicating to you about the nature of your journey, the depth of your journey, the perfection of your journey. And this is but one platform. This is but one platform amongst many. The other 80% remains within you as an individual, as the integrated nature of your experience continues to reveal more about presence, just about your essence, who you are as an individual here amongst your own creation. So, with that being said, beyond the distortion of a student-teacher relationship, all remains a communication of the one heart space that we all share. And of course, our connection here remains but a celebration of that experience. So let us bask in that energy. And on that note, take a step back and realize the importance of our 60-second meditation exercise that we do prior to all of our communications. This is based on the mere recognition of our essence, of our depth, the truth of our being, the ceremony in which we return to this round table of ours to connect, share, celebrate, communicate the intelligence that resides there and intends to be expressed in this now moment to aid us in our way forward. So let us recognize that as we calm ourselves, allow everything to exist around you, accept all the experiences, all the stimuli that's taking place outside of the self, so we can ground. We're going to ground ourselves. Returning ourselves to that space, our place there amongst the round table, the thrones that all circle the life source, the one manifestation of the energy that is the truth of ourselves. Kings and queens, please take your seats. Let's sit there from the core of Gaia to Solaris, Eon, Malcor, Helios, and Vesta. And being in gratitude for our existence, take another deep breath. Allow the exhale, calm the body, 60 seconds. I wish you could shelter me. Shelter me now. Gently allow yourselves to return to your physical vehicles consciously, energetically sensing the entirety. Relax, allow, be present. Allow your lungs to return to their normal intake capacity. You're very aware of the importance of these moments in your stillness. You're now integrating the essence of your stillness into your waking hours, into your conscious experience. Allow that integration to take place. But by all means, when you're comfortable, you're open to open your eyes once again. Yes, expect miracles. That is the essence of our experience here. Normalize gratitude, normalize it. Such an amazing, priceless, and truly wise frequency of being. Miraculous in itself that we have the capability of energetically and emotionally recognizing our presence, the faculties that come with existence naturally, effortlessly. It's all there. Let's not get used to breathing, used to the miracle of being able to see, to hear, to experience, to stimulate, to consider. Just the idea and basis of our ability to even consider life is a miracle in itself. Being able to do this is a reflective of our own awareness. The awareness matters, materializes. The material is but a collection of energy, a step down of energy, a concentration of energy. Let us recognize that energy in our lives in general, in all of its forms, and appreciate those. So as we appreciate these energies and these manifestations, they develop, they're recognized, they serve us via our own recognition of their presence. They serve us. Let's be in that energy a little more today as we heal a little more in this now moment, each and every day a little more in this now moment as we evolve. Come on, this is the essence and beauty and miracle of being alive and being aware that you're alive and to celebrate your vitality, your existence on purpose. This is loving on purpose. Actually recognizing that you're here and you're supposed to be here. And the vibration that's natural to your presence is embraced, cultivated, radiated, and expanded upon with every inch of your being and being alive as a celebration of being chosen. You're chosen to be here. You were chosen to be here in this now moment, not only alive, not only to exist, but to exist now in this state of awareness with these gifts, with that face, with that beauty, with that insight, with that level of wisdom, with this level of maturity to actually still be here, be alive, where capacity. Celebrate, beloved. At a service capacity. You serve via your own healing work. The things that you do alone doesn't require an audience for you to do this work. You do this work every day. In a lot of circles, we'll consider this to be survival. But based on survival is scratching, trying hard to be, to breathe, to exist, to experience the joy of being alive, to experience a smile, to have the resources that we need. We're beyond that. This is another level of existence. Based on this level of existence, this level of awareness, that we realize that we're beyond the point of merely surviving. There's plenty of times in your experience that you knew logically, logic that you didn't have to be here. You didn't still have to be here. This situation could possibly be the end, or that's it. It's been plenty of those situations for many people. However, there's a deeper level of intuition that's reflective post experiences, near death experiences, or calamities, or situations where you felt like you didn't have the mental or emotional capacity to move forward. There's been plenty of those situations. And because of that, you recognize there's an underlying function that's intelligent. There's an underlying foundation to just being here or attempting to use the logic to still exist, because every time logically you recognize that things could go downhill from here and this could be it, there was a deep level of intelligence that times made a lot of sense in facilitating the way in which you exist now at this higher level of existence, of this in this deeper level of awareness. Let's consider an idea, and we'll start here. The idea is that we let in relief, allow ourselves to release that pressure of feeling that things are not okay and we're not going to be okay, or that there's an effort or trying necessary for us to be okay, to feel safe. Let us allow ourselves to release some of the tension of feeling as if we need to make sure or ensure that we remain. Life is infinitely intelligent. You're still here, which in turn means you're still supposed to be here. There's a deeper reasoning behind you still existing. And of course, love is not logical, and logic kind of traces back to reason. It's just that there's a path that's unfolding that's beyond logic. However, that path involves your existence. That path is infinitely intelligent. You're still here. You're supposed to be here. And being that you're supposed to be here, you can relax the logical analysis of your existence and feeling that there's something that you need to do. And know that we've moved beyond the point of attempting to survive, so we can actually let go of struggling. And it's been rooted in a lot of over analysis and mental projections of doom and gloom and the things that we expect of life and what's supposed to happen. Our expectations are our limitations. They set up a lot of tripwire on our path. A lot of tripwire, because of course the mind is a tool of manifestation. And there is a plan. Naturally, there is a divine plan. It's just that we're here with the gifts to sensitive beings. We can sense our power based on our level of anxiety and the emotions that roam within our energy fields, continuing to cycle and circulate. So all of this energy we're working with is reflective of our own power. It's just that when we're not in a place of awareness and recognizing these aspects of our being, it's very easy for us to create a lot of chaos for ourselves. Extremely easy. Why? Because we're dealing with all this power, all this energy, all this emotion. Once again, planet Earth is known the hardest planet for a physical being to incarnate on because of the emotional intensity of the experience here. To incarnate on the most intense emotional planet and evolve out of that space, you must be an extremely powerful being. The amount of energy and intensity of emotion that you have access to deep within your beings is inherent in being at a service capacity on this planet. It's inherent in that. Naturally, this planet is known for its intense emotions. It's just that there's a deeper level of a higher frequency of being that we have access to within our own being. It's just that awareness is everything. Awareness is everything, what we have access to and what we're working with when it comes to this energy. How we, in which this energy, do it in a sure, productive manner versus a destructive, self destructive manner. We make things very complicated when in truth, by default, there's a lot of complexity on site. However, the methodology is simple, very simple. The methodology is extremely simple. Infinite intelligence is eternal. In order for a space of intelligence to reproduce itself eternally, continuously, in an infinite amount of forms, the functionality of that mechanism has to be extremely simple. Simple as the route of a figure eight. Very simple, but that's the way in which eternity works. It's just, of course, in being here and having the energy to create and influence amongst the distortions and things we've set up for ourselves. It can be extremely intense, confusing, doubtful, hurtful, and every other adjective you can describe the nature of distortions here in this dimension. My apologies if our stream is coming off a little weak today. I'm still working on my connection here. It'll be fixed pretty soon. I got to do a couple administrative things. So, as stated, it can be extremely intense to heal here, to do this work. It's just that nothing is presented that you do not have the capacity to ascend beyond or transcend. Nothing here. Now, here's something we have to realize about the nature of that which is unfolding before us now. Good day, Sharon. What we have to realize about this very intense portion of our transition is this: there are a lot of choices. It all goes back down to love or fear. However, those two choices, you can only imagine the amount of narratives that can branch off from those core systems, those core energies, love and fear. There's an infinite amount of narratives that can spring from those two vibrational frequencies or intentions or focuses. Now, by nature, love, it's gentle, it's confident, it's the truth, it's eternal, it's always going to be there. It doesn't require a lot of effort to be, it just is. It's a frequency of being. So these choices or that the offspring of paths that come with that choice, they're not going to be they're not going to be chosen based on outside influence because it happens very naturally. It unfolds very naturally. It has to do with its internal compass, excitement, intuition. These are the paths of love I'm talking about. These paths that have everything to do with you trusting yourself and following your intuition. Now, the paths of fear, of course, you can only imagine that there's an overabundance of proof, reinforcement, and impact that these paths have on display. Lots of them. And all of this is just a layman, a very complicated way of saying the illusion is going to provide a lot of proof and it's going to do a lot of selling to you when it comes to those paths. And they're intentional. Fear is overbearing, it's clever, witty, manipulative, deceptive. There's a lot of that energy when it comes to attempting to sell you narratives or paths of fear. I'll give you another term. And this is a more accurate way of describing these different selections or paths that we can choose. They're called thought streams. Thought streams. And thought streams have everything to do with projected outcomes and expectations and things that you expect, or at least um, logical lines outcomes. This leads to this, and then to this, and to this, and to this. And I feel like that's where things are going. this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, and because this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, and that's where we're going. And usually with the thought paths of fear, there's an endpoint of doom and gloom and hopelessness and doubt and fear. Come on, it's the foundation of those thought paths. There's a deep sense, or at least a deep trigger of fear within the individual that logically makes sense, or at least is the foundation or endpoint of the thought path that we're choosing, especially when it comes to the fear-based thought paths. I'm scared of this aspect of life, or it could just be death. Well, being that that drives me, and mentally the ego would rather be right than alive. Consider that for a moment. The ego would rather you die than to be wrong. It would rather harm than to be wrong. Harm for you. It's extremely self-destructive. That's why it's called insanity. It's extremely self-destructive. But it's about being right and not about the truth. It's about being right and not the truth. And this is where things get out of balance. Because once again, we're in this space of mental projection, and we feel as if logically we have things figured out. And the body and the ego is attempting to find ways to bring you a sense of comfort and protection, and feeling that it needs to figure these things, these paths, in order for you to feel justified in your actions or what you've decided about life. But once again, it'd rather you die or be in suffering than to be wrong. And you could kind of sense how that's not helpful. That's not helpful at all. We want to feel good. We want to love. We want to enjoy our lives. We want the beauty of our experience to flourish and be cultivated. So here's the thing, these narratives with derogatory outcomes, they're attractive to people who have a desire to prove, to be right. There's a lot of pain. There's a sense of fulfillment. There's a chemical and biological process that comes with fulfillment, even if it's destructive. I told you that was happening. It's not helpful. It's not what you actually preferred, but the feeling of being right provides a certain level of stimuli and comfort and relief and, yeah, just cynicism with being right. And once again, this is the ego. The ego always, it's always right or wrong. It's a separation, good and bad. This is separation. We speak all the time about how masses don't choose sides. We're not about the left or the right. We're about the truth. Let the light shine. Allow intelligence to be. What is intelligent within the plane of the divine will be. And of course, life is happening for me. So whatever the plan is, it's ultimately beneficial to me because it's what I desire. It's what I desire. It's what the all desires. And of course, what the all desires is of the greatest benefit to all life. Are we tracking? I'm not going to go too deep into that. However, as we ride these waves of awareness out there on purpose, because there's a knowing that amongst confusion, souls are extremely susceptible to deception because there's a desperation and a a fight for survival. Anytime a species is in during a transition or in the midst of a transition, there's always outside forces or energy attempting to cause chaos, to pull souls or pull energy into their particular reality. They feed themselves. We talked about this before as well. The dark, extremely frustrated. You feed what you fight. And of course, you feed darkness when there are dense energies within your being. So, of course, please be sad. Please be outraged. Please be angry. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to destruction. Pay attention to sorrow and sadness. This is our energy. You're providing us weapons to continue to reinforce your enslavement. Please be sad. Please be sad. You're helping us. Please, fearmonger. Please spread this information. I want you to attempt to get other people to be sad and be outraged. Hide it in the cloak of awareness. We just need you to know that this is happening. Look at what's happening. We need you to know that this is happening, because if you know that happening, we fix it. It's the same analogy as, or it's parallel to the energy of a person coming to heal you. Well, let me take that back. This is the energy of a person providing a person with support. There's a soul that's crying, and I want to provide support with that person or to that person. And me assuming that this dark energy works in helping and healing is me coming to the person and crying as well. So now it's both of us crying. It's just that me crying is assuming that my crying is going to get the other person to stop crying and feel better. Doesn't work like that. You're adding fuel to the fire. You're adding more. It's the waters. It's the waters of unconditional love and acceptance and knowing and confidence. This is how you put out that flame. This is how the dog or the cat or whatever house pet you have changes your vibration when you come into the house and with a bad mood, because they don't allow your mood to change them. Of course, they come in with their energy and they attempt to comfort. Dogs like to jump on you and lick your face. They're not sad with you. They're not going to be sad. They know that that doesn't help. That doesn't help you by being sad with you. It's not a sympathetic thing. It's not a pity thing. It's an empathetic thing. Of course, I understand how you feel and I have compassion for how you feel. But I'm not going to help you by feeling the way that you feel. I only reinforce what you're sad about. See, everybody's sad. Everybody's crying. Everybody feels hopeless. Because then in actuality, the patient takes the lead. I'm just using an analogy. The patient doesn't take the lead. The doctor takes the lead. I change the energy in a more refined or the more aligned way of being. Of course, we accept our emotions. And yes, there's sad things that happen. It's just that the foundation of our existence, us actually being alive to experience our emotions, is the greatest gift, the greatest realization in any experience. Life is up and down, yes, fluctuation, but however, existence allows us these experiences for an even greater love. We experience the distortions of our lives as catalyst of our own ability to love at a deeper capacity, to love more. We experience sorrow and sadness and separation to return to peace, to establish and allow ourselves the ability to dig deeper for a deeper level or a higher frequency of love within ourselves. The ability to love again is this deeper frequency of grieve and return to a space of peace where you do the analysis and you do the work of accepting yourselves, and then you have the capacity to love at an even higher frequency of being because you've experienced these experiences. You had to have unconditional love for oneself to even try to love again, to even be open to connect with another person. It required a deeper level of self acceptance. No, this hurts. However, I love myself enough to continue to love. That's a realization that goes into the, or that comes out of the healing process. No, I deserve this. I deserve to experience joy. People deserve life. We deserve our sovereignty. The point of us loving was the act of love and not the outcome or the intended projection of security, or we want the person to stay, or we have expectations of them. They have to know the point of all of this is to love. It's us being in love, it's us having that vibration. So the idea of enjoying a person or being infatuated or loving or having a crush on a person or another person, in truth, it's a beautiful thing, but it has nothing to do with them. It was about you feeling love. It was about you experiencing that vibration and radiating that feeling into your life, because then you're manifesting more of that energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to come from the individual you're projecting or you have that love for. They were a trigger of your own love. They were a trigger. They were there to assist you in feeling that. And of course, that feeling is beneficial to you. This is admiring reflections of self, the beauty and depth of reflections. You're only experiencing your own energy. What I see in other people, I found within myself. As I expand in awareness, I found that in myself. That's why I appreciate them or how they look or their energy. And I found that inside. And every time you love you, every time you get up and you do this work, you find more and more to love about life and reflections of self. And before you know it, come on, there's a realization that you're the walking manifestation of the all, radiating love and appreciating all in their priceless nature. You appreciate life and about reflections. Come on. So take a step back and allow yourself to experience your miracle. This is your miracle. This is your path, your creation, your miracle. You are the main character of this story. It sounds self-centered and selfish, and we've attached these derogatory meanings or connotations to these words. And in actuality, you have to think about the nature of our experience and how things are a lot of times very reversed. And it's in the wording. Love. Yeah, of course. Be self-centered. You're the foundation of all that you're experiencing. Be that way. Be selfish. Make your decisions. Excuse me. Well, let me call you back. Be that way, beloved. Be that way. This is where you have the love to share, to give, to radiate. You want to be able to give this love to your people. to your friends and your family, but it all comes from inside your center. It's genuine when it comes from your center. You don't want to be out here giving no fake love or giving out love and attention and time based on obligation. That's fake time. That's fake energy. That's fake presence. I can feel it. We don't enjoy that as sensitive people. We don't enjoy love driven by obligation or expectation or our image or reputation. I'd rather you just not be present if we're not there together, invested, enthusiastic, and excited about enjoying a space together. We're experiencing our own energy each and every day. So, of course, we have to be the practitioners. We have to take the lead in energy. It's our energy that is reflective in those around us. We're experiencing our own energy. And of course, our energy is attracting the circumstances and people and situations into our lives that are reflective of the work that we're doing inside, right? So here's an exercise, some beautiful gift, a beautiful tool that we all have to use to do some clearing. From the beginning of these communications, it's always been about nations and systems and ships and the new world and a lot of airy fairy information. It's just that all of that has its foundation in the work that's going on inside the very simplistic elements and principles that are being expressed here. We're going to start from the root. You see behind me, see that red one right here? Root chakra, the foundational energy center of all the distortions that we have festering within our energy field. Everything has its foundation here. So, whatever blockages are there, we can give them attention. And when I say give them attention, here's what I mean. In your meditations or in your net, relax. Consider this conversation. Consider this conversation. Sit down, be with yourself. Sit with yourself. The intent is more self love, more self acceptance, more confidence, more recognition of this being your story, your design, to clear up a lot of the energy and distortions that radiate ideas is radiating within our energy field. When you sit down and you sit there, no, it doesn't. There's no stipulation on the amount of time you sit there, but what we want you to do is give every bit of conscious attention, like the entirety of your being. We'd like you to direct it to the root chakra. That's the bottom of your butt, like down there by your anus. We all your energy. When you sit down, give all your to that space. Move your consciousness energetically to that space and be there with your presence. Be there in that space, consciously directing all of your energy to that space. Expect miracles. Expect miracles. Expect miracles. Give it the energy, give it the time and the investment. This is not a one time thing. So give it some time. When you remember, have a seat and give your root chakra that energy it needs. Give it the attention. Purely just focusing. You don't have to project anything or come up with any visualizations or ideas. Of course, visualizations are helpful. And if you're going to do that energy and give the root chakra your attention, it's going to clear itself up. And what comes out of that, expect miracles. Trust. Here's another tool. It's parallel to what we just talked about. It's parallel. So let's consider that. We're moving into these advanced stages of expansion. The advanced stages has a lot of practical exercises, which you could tell. Used to manifesting things through action, through routine, through discipline, which is absolutely necessary. However, there's another tool that is of a higher frequency of being. It's where fifth dimensional souls work from when it comes to influencing and manifesting in this reality within the physical. Here's how it works. The nature of these conversations, this communication, right? We're painting pictures of energy through words, through our articulation, right? It's much deeper than the wording. However, those who are truly present can sense the frequency being changed. That's how these communications work. That's how the writing works. It's not what's it's not what the it's not the words, it's what's in between the words, what's in the essence of how you feel as you observe the words, not through the analysis and reading it over and over and over again. It's how you feel when you're present and you truly observe what is being expressed. This is where you receive the energy. This is where you receive and you connect with that frequency. It's a way of reaching out to humanity through frequency. Now, previously, there's been an effort to attempt to communicate with humanity through information, through facts, and all of these different experiences. As we move into these advanced phases, or at least the beginning of the advanced steps into a fifth dimensional presence, we're going to highlight how important the feeling is. This also applies to the nature of the reality that you're experiencing at present. You literally have the ability and are sophisticated enough to now release the expectations of the steps and internally do the work of going inside and connecting with the intended experiences, that which you intend to be in, that reality, that framework. This is dimensional work. This is changing frameworks. You have the ability to access these realities through your emotions. And we're talking not necessarily just visualization. It involves the entirety of the emotional body. This is where the emotional body proves its superpower. It shows the gift of all the suffering that you've experienced here. Because all that you've processed through all the energy centers, the depth of those experiences via acceptance has expanded the capacity of you to feel, not being able to communicate, and acceptance of oneself and the expansion of your consciousness or survival. All of the experiences that have come into your life, into your waking hours, to your conscious experience, your ability to accept, exist, and process those energies has opened up those energy centers to be able to accept, express, and enjoy, cultivate, manifest more of those energies. And this is not just this particular lifetime. Once again, this is the amalgamation of all the lives that you've experienced on planet Earth. That's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. There's a lot of suffering that went along with those lifetimes. You already had the gifts. It's just that you're here now. You have all these tools. It's that you continue, or many of you, let's not even do that. There are many who choose to continue to allow the distortions to harness this energy for more calamity, for more suffering. Harness the emotions that you have, the power that you have to aid their own illusions, to aid their own thought streams. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's the feeling, beloved. It's the feeling. The visualization is important. However, the feeling, the ability for you to feel with your capacity of emotion, your emotional capacity, and your conscious awareness working together. This is the head and the heart working together. You have the ability to tap into those emotions and allow for that to carry you into the reality that you desire, or more aligned with that trajectory. And it's one step at a time. However, we know that there's tasks and things that are before us that we desire to see come to pass. In other words, the small goals, not the whole 3-year or 5-year plan, but there's things that are necessary for us to manifest now. There, we start to practice. It doesn't necessarily have to be specific. The less specific, the more effective. The less specific, the more effective. We're working with energy. And when we work with energy, we cannot limit the progression of our path with logical thought. There's ways of going about doing the things that you desire to happen that are much more effective than what the mind feels like. Okay, this needs to happen. I need this, and this, and then I could get there. There are more effective means to getting to that space. So once again, you have to pull back your expectations. The less specific, the more effective. But once again, it's the feeling that you want to engage with. And as you refine your ability to engage feeling, we're talking about vibration. We're talking about frequency bands, having the ability to engage specifically in frequencies-based practice. The more you do this, the more you tap into that framework, the more you're able to harness the miracle of your experience through engaging with that energy, with that feeling. Let me step back because I have to say this. This is so important that we realize this. And I'm not, because a lot of times because we've been in duality for such a long time, we've accepted that reality to be integral or the foundation of existence itself. So a lot of times we are focused on duality or the small game board versus the big game board, The big game board has everything to do with energy, cause. Big game board, energy, cause. Small game board, effects, people, politics, small decisions, the experiences or our entanglements with other people, what needs to happen or what this person did and what that person did, all separation, all within the illusion. That's the small game board, all effects. But as you evolve and become more sophisticated, you're able to recognize and work from the larger game board. On the small game board, here's the reality, and here's what's necessary for us to understand it, its core essence. Beyond all the mumbo jumbo, beyond all the airy fairiness, we must recognize and be sophisticated enough to realize the foundation of our existence. And the foundation of our existence is magical. The foundation of our existence is magical. It's infinite intelligence. The reality we've indoctrinated into and trained to focus on or trained to recognize and validate as the reality or realism and the real world. I'll put that in quotes because when people get frustrated and they don't have they kind of, oh, well, in the real world, we got to do this. So this is the logic attempting to reinforce. So this is fear attempting to overcompensate for itself because it has no foundation. So it overcompensates through harnessing that emotional, logical thought patterns. And all of that is to say this. At the root of the dark's efforts on the small game board, at the root foundation of all the actions that the dark participate in on the small game board, when we talk about dark and light and all that stuff, the actions of the dark within the political sphere, financial, religious, and all other spheres within the social construct is this. Their intent, or the dark cabal, their intent remains in dark magic. That's all that is. All the stuff and all all of this stuff, the money, gold, vaccines, all of it has its foundation in dark magic. All of it. And once again, this is a small game board. This is the very small game board. It's all dark magic. That's the intent. On the big game board, of course, the dark and light energy, it's all about the creator. And we have the ability to self-realize through those experiences, through those catalysts. It's just that when you're mentally in that space and you're recognizing the fear-mongering and the deaths of certain people on dates and times and locations and certain people being placed into power and monuments and all, this is hijacked information from the ancient civilizations who were working with light magic, the ancient cultures. And when we talk about the Egyptian culture, which is rooted from Sirius, and so they took that information and it was perverted and they turned it into dark magic to control society, sound, color, frequency, energy, manipulation. There's nothing, and then we go with the separation thing again. When we uh, labeling is still, that's a box. It's just that there's nothing in life that's not divine. It's all spiritual. There's only spirit. It's all electromagnetic energy, all of it. There's nothing that's not spiritual. But of course, I'm not attacking. But once again, I'm just want us to specify and clarify that that's something that we're working past. We're attempting to transcend beyond when we start to label things. Oh, he got the chakra thing. Yes, was probably a spiritual dude, and we work with these boxes of judgment, and yeah, it really limits our level of awareness. It limits our ability to process and embrace everything and see the bigger picture, or at least have the perspective from the bigger game board. Now, you could participate in attempting to combat or work with dark and light energy to and that's on that level. And it's third, fourth to the fifth dimensional spaces, moving out of the small game board into the grander scheme of things, back into the source vibration of things that oversees and assists all the souls, or at least species, who participate in the lower frequency game board as a vehicle, as a catalyst of their evolution to moving into the space of being able to exist beyond the cycles of physical death. That's the big game board. The small game board is where we fighting and we're arguing, and it's that person versus that person, and we're trying to figure out what's right and wrong, and so on and so forth. That's the small game board. You have the ability to shift up a level, move to the bigger space, the higher vantage point that recognizes infinite intelligence doing this work in everything that's happening in this now moment. It's doing work through us, through our experience. As the creator, we are experiencing our own creation. Not to say that prime creator is someone separate or some place, a far off galaxy, or some energy that we're worshiping. It's deep within our own being. Inside out is how life expresses itself and expands. Electromagnetic energy, all coming from everything inside. This is the source of all the colors and people and experiences and so on and so forth that we see. Here, it all comes from here. Here, inside out. So let us recognize the big and small game board for what it is. And we can both, because of course we're incarnate and we still got to talk to people and we still got to work around situations and be present and be loving and honest and accepting and compassionate and empathetic, because this is very confusing times. Everybody feel like they got it and they're stuck on that way of going about life. And I need to make sure people accept this narrative, or the people around me are safe, because there's this thing that I know about and I need to make sure everybody around me knows about it too. It's a wholesome intent. It's a wholesome intent. We want to protect the people around us. That's cool. But this is all driven by an eternal rooted fear and feeling that we're not safe. And we feel that we're not safe. The love that we have to share our emotions feel as if we need to go out and make sure the people around us are safe because we don't feel safe. Inside out is where the healing work takes place. When we feel like we need to fix or change or protect reflections, it's all rooted in the fear internally. It all comes from inside. Remember the analogy about about the dog in the hood? When you gotta run, you start running from the dog, it's gonna chase you. And you relax and you're confident, you're not scared, more than likely the dog ain't gonna bother you because you're not existing in that reality. But if you exist in that reality, of course you're going to feel like you need to fight off something, or you don't want to, you're preparing for the pain of another, and you give that energy. That's the fifth dimensional way of manifestation. It all has to do with feeling the internal world, us engaging and cultivating with, or cultivating our own essence and our vibration, recognizing that that's where all the experiences come from, our, excuse me, our vibration, our projections. And it's not easy to control. It takes time. courage to observe how we feel and allow for us to process those emotions objectively, and instead of feeling as if we need to go out and do something to change or manipulate the experience itself externally. We feel like we need to, and once again, this is a compromise of our reality, of our story. The story is perfect. But then the logical mind gets working and asks a bunch of questions. Well, if a person jump off the bridge or ready to jump off and you can't save them, or if you can save them, and da da da, what am I supposed to do? Follow your intuition. Be present. Know that everything is cool. Of course, apply logic where necessary. When the opportunity or the situation, not talking about mindless leaders that don't know how to make decisions, are just kind of going with the flow and, oh, what will be. And when you think about hippies, a lot of times this is what you consider and feel, oh, smoking weed and we don't make no decisions and, oh, everything's going to work. No, it's spiritual maturity to recognize and honor the heart. But at the same time, when it's time to make decisions, be the first to make decisions, because we're aligned and connected with our hearts, with the home of infinite intelligence. We know how we feel. We know the implications of any decisions that we make. It's a combination of all of our being. It's not bad. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. Almost knocked my statue over. Understand something, beloved. Leaps and bounds in evolution you guys are making in record time. Personal communications have revealed this. The leaps that we've made as a species, as individuals, incorporating and integrating the information and healing into our own lives and our own ways of being, have already affected countless souls in our own experiences. Countless souls. Through our examples, through the recognition and reflection that we're doing internally. Countless souls have already been self-realized through our example, through the things that we've done, the experiences that we've had, what we've brought to the table when it comes to our communication and conversation with other people. Leaps and bounds have already taken place. In truth, within a matter of months, our energy fields have changed dramatically. Dramatically. The energy fields have changed of all the individuals here. Because we've been paying attention and actually participating in the work. This is a beautiful thing. Trust it, beloved. Trust it. When you let go, you can receive. When you let go, you can receive, beloved. Trust the process. You're on the receiving end. See yourself as that receiver. Countless beings are here to assist all of us with amazing energy. Countless souls are here to assist humanity in all that's taking place. Countless. So as you, there'll be more miracles for you to unfold than you could possibly ever ask for. and who we are of the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light, and who I am humbly as your brother, Commander Ashtar. We love you. Till next time.